Down in the DM. It go down, it go down. It goes down in the DM. It go down, it go down in the DM. It go down, tell it down.
Wake up, Rams. Week 2 of Down in the DMs is coming at you right now. Without further ado, let's just get right into it. Our first question, Rachel, will Patrick Mahomes ever be able to catch up to Tom Brady in the GOAT conversation?
Personally, I think this is a ridiculous question to have to be asked in the first place. Yes, he had a very off game in the Super Bowl, and he didn't have an offensive line that was helping him. But that's no reason to say that he's not going to be able to get to the same caliber. I think that he is definitely on the verge of getting this same exact position as Tom Brady.
Yeah, so, I mean, what we just saw right there was when he was parallel to the ground throwing the football. Yes, Patrick Mahomes, he had a tough first quarter. But, I mean, it was an embarrassing game overall for the Chiefs. I mean, that's the type of football game that is never forgotten. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, Patrick Mahomes did the best that he could when he was running. How many yards did you say earlier?
It was almost 500. It said that they calculated how much he was scrambling basically throughout the whole game, and it was about 497 yards that he ran by himself, just running away from people like Shaq Barrett.
Just scrambling and getting smacked. But, you know, before we get into this, like, let's take a look at the numbers. Let's look at this graphic that I conjured up here. So tail of the tape. First full 3 seasons for both Mahomes and Tom Brady. Wins goes to Mahomes. Completion percentage goes to Mahomes. Touchdowns almost basically doubled goes to Mahomes. Total yards goes to Mahomes. Their rating, not QBR. I wish I could have used QBR, but that wasn't around from 2001 to 2003 because Tom Brady is old. But rating goes to Mahomes. The only thing that goes to Tom Brady is rings. So do you think, is he on track?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, he
like
is
I
on track.
said, he needs the help around him. One player is not going to make the difference for an entire game. You
Absolutely.
need especially for Patrick, he needs his offensive line to be rebuilt because he should not have to be scrambling every single play in a game. That's just ridiculous.
That's kind of what happens when let's look at the contract that he got. Do the Chiefs have enough money to rebuild their offensive line? But if they do, I mean, he and Tom Brady is obviously, I'm not saying he's not the GOAT right now. I don't think that's what you're saying either. But just because of the Super Bowl does not mean that Patrick Mahomes isn't even in the conversation anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is no disregard to what Tom Brady has done throughout his career. Props to him for moving from one team to another and still going to the championship.
Yep.
That's incredible. I can't even understand how he did that in the first place. It just doesn't make sense in my mind. But it just goes back to how he has so many players around him, and his offensive line was doing a great job in this game last night. And I just think that Patrick Mahomes should not be seen as a bad quarterback after that performance, because he's obviously shown, like you said in those statistics, he has obviously shown that he deserves to be here, he can be here, and he could easily be growing more still too. He's so young. And if you look at Tom Brady, like you said, he's old. He's been playing this game for a long time, and he's continued to get better throughout his career. So it's all up in the air for Patrick Mahomes, but I think that he could absolutely still continue to grow.
It's just crazy to me that guys like Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless are jumping ship like it's the Titanic. No, you just got a small little hole in the ship. He went to the Super Bowl.
It was one game that he lost to. That was it.
Like, come on. Give me a break.
Looking at that one throw, though, where he is almost hitting the ground, and it still hits right in the face mask of Tyreek Hill in the end zone, let alone, and ridiculous. He should have had a touchdown. Like I said, this just doesn't make sense to me that this is even a conversation in the first place. He is absolutely at that caliber of GOAT, and I know he's been called Baby GOAT for a while now. I think that he's going to be huge GOAT coming down the line.
Yeah, give him 17 more seasons.
Give him 17 more seasons and a couple more championship appearances. I think he'll be okay. All right, well, many think that the Nuggets are underperforming this season. Ethan, is it time to start worrying about them?
You know, it's just tough. This last game against Sacramento that they lost, it's very easy to panic. They absolutely imploded against the Lakers on Thursday. That was bad. They were winning by, I think 12 at halftime, and they got outscored by almost double in the third quarter. I've been calling them the worst third quarter team in the NBA all year because that's what they've been. But when you have Nikola Jokic, do you really need to panic? Do you really need to freak out?
Well, clearly, yeah. If he's still getting 50 points in a game, but you're still losing, I think that's a little bit of a problem.
That is upsetting. I do agree with you. But you have to remember, Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, and Facu Campazzo were all out against Sacramento. And Sacramento has had Denver's number. But 8 or 7 new guys came onto this team. This is not the exact same team that we had last year. Training camp was not nearly. I mean, we're very far into the season, but this is a team that has been plagued by injuries. Did not get to meld together really in training camp. Just give them some time. Have trust in Nikola Jokic, the MVP, by the way. And you can have, let's put like the panic meter at like 3 out of 10, 4, maybe no, I was pushing like 4.8. That's where I would put it. What do you think?
Not going for the 5?
No.
No? It's a
not
little
quite.
too much?
Not quite there.
Okay. Well, I would agree with you. I think that they definitely need some more time. And Jokic, always playing well. Always playing well. Like I said, if he's getting 50 points in a game, I don't think you need to worry about him specifically. He's obviously doing what he needs to do. But, like you said, they're ridden with injuries. If they can keep that off the table and they can stay healthy, I think that's going to be good for them. But, I mean, currently, I don't see them going to a championship right now. I don't really know if I could see them going very far in the playoffs anyway. You just have such a young team. MPJ is still growing.
Think they make it to a Western Conference final again this year?
No, I don't.
Okay, so Utah got better, yes. Utah got better. I don't think the Clippers got better. I think the Nuggets could beat the Clippers again.
Yeah.
And they could beat the Jazz again. They snapped their 11 games winning streak, but you don't think they make it to the Western Conference final again?
I just like seeing you get all revved up about it. It's kind of funny.
Who beats them?
I would say the Clippers. I feel like you're gonna be shocked by that one.
But okay, I mean we can tackle that another day.
Well, we can obviously debate about that one. That's definitely coming. I can see it already happening.
Yeah. We'll think about it, but don't panic too much, Nuggets Nation. You got a believer over here, a cynic over there.
Hey, Lakers are my team. I'm not gonna go against them. So just wait.
You know, that's just embarrassing. You just admitted that on TV.
Yeah, why is that so bad to admit? No, don't move on yet. Don't move on yet. No. Who won the last championship?
Yeah, well, the
COVID one. Yeah, okay. That makes perfect
LeBron
sense.
James. Okay, we're going on tangents here. Let's move on. Unless you want.
No, it's all good. No, we'll move on. That's all I needed to say. It's okay.
You know, this offseason is already starting to look like it could be quite the QB carousel in the NFL. But with that being said, who do you think will be the Broncos starting quarterback next season?
You know, I think it's going to be really difficult for them to figure this out. I know that John Elway definitely wants to fill that position and be confident with where he's been. I mean, you guys haven't really had a nice quarterback that you could trust and have a franchise QB since Peyton Manning, and that's 5 years after he's been retired. I mean, he's now in the Hall of Fame,
it's been long enough for him to be inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Exactly, 5 years. Yeah. That's how long it's been since you guys have since the Broncos have had a chance to be comfortable with their quarterback. I think best case scenario, they sign somebody like an old veteran quarterback right now, somebody that could be a good spot for Locke, for him to get some mentorship from, and for him to grow and figure out where he's at in that position.
Like Andy Dalton, like he's a free agent guy, or are you thinking like they trade for somebody?
I'm thinking a free agent guy. I don't think they need to go for trades right now, but I mean, I don't know. Obviously, there's talks about Deshaun Watson going to the Broncos. How do you feel about that one?
Oh, man. I mean, who wouldn't want Deshaun Watson on their football team? I would give up anything to have Deshaun Watson on my football team. You want all my draft picks this year?
You have to give up to Deshaun Watson.
But it's Deshaun Watson. Imagine Deshaun Watson with Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant, Phillip Lindsay, Melvin Gordon. Like, that's just, if you're an offensive coordinator, you are dreaming about that at night. But realistically, I think that Drew Lock will be the starting quarterback for the Broncos next season, because George Payton, this is his first year as a GM. And traditionally, in your first year as a general manager of a national football team, you don't take super big shots. Because super big shots get you fired. Like you got, I mean, and especially if you've got Pat Bowlen. You are filling the shoes of Pat Bowlen, who is one of the most beloved men in Denver history and one of the most historic GMs in NFL history. So, I mean, you could make history by getting Deshaun Watson, but I don't think George Paton has it in him in his first year.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be, if you do that trade, it's going to be a lot that you have to give up. A lot of draft picks. I think that you're going to have to work tirelessly to get Deshaun Watson, but obviously that would be a big pickup for them. But, I mean, also look at it. You're 9th in the draft right now if you don't do any trades. So do they go for maybe drafting a new quarterback in the first round?
Kyle Trask would not be an awful pick.
No, it would not be an awful pick.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Trask it's not John Elway anymore, but that's the type of John Elway quarterback, you know what I mean? But he'd actually be good.
Yeah, all right. Well, Rams, that is all the time that we have for tonight. To stay updated on all CSU athletics through the week, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at sports_CTV. I'm Rachel Hallam.
And I'm Ethan Bird. Tune in the same time tomorrow night for the always entertaining Allison Hubbard in Hubbard's Huddle. Good night, Rams.